So, bringing the amount of spooks and horrors, I said, why not play a game that brings chills to the spines? Well, then I realized I'm too much of a puss, and I said, why not play Castlevania instead? Which isn't that scary, but it's still pretty spooky.
Story follows Simon Belmont, equipped with his trusty whip, the Vampire Killer, on his quest to defeat the big baddie, Prince of Darkness, Vampire King himself, Dracula, and his army of Halloween decorations. Why? No idea. We don't get into the origins of the conflict between the Belmonts and Dracula until later in the series, so till then let's just say, vampires are evil and must be killed. Yeah, let's go with that. So, as Simon, you gotta go to different parts of Dracula's castle, defeat a boss at the end, and then collect a red orb, which I'm not sure really does, but hell, you won't really care, because you will be too busy to deal with everything this game is throwing at you. Castlevania is hard as hell. Why, you may ask? Well... Let's start with the controls. Simon can do only two things, jump and whip forward. Attacking with the Wii feels pretty good, despite only be able to do it in one direction. The real problem is with the jumping. Once your feet left the ground, you can't really change your direction in midair. Granted, the platforming never forced me to do impossible jumps, but still it's annoying to be punished for small mistakes that could have been fixed if you had proper midair control. Then the knockback from the enemies. Every time Simon gets touched by an enemy, he feels a need to jump 3 feet back, and most of the time it happens over a bottomless pit. The enemies themselves are a pain in the ass too. The hatchbacks keep running and jumping on random patterns, and sometimes it's impossible to not take damage. The skull pillars that shoot fireballs which take forever to kill, and of course the goddamn Medusa heads. Jesus Christ, I died so many times because I couldn't avoid those damn heads. And to make this even worse, sometimes they like to throw a lot of annoying enemies at once. For example, in the room before the fight with Death himself, you gotta fight 2 X-Knights which take like goddamn forever to kill and avoid Medusa heads. So yeah, Castlevania seems like a pretty annoying game to deal with. Well, it can be, but there are ways to make things easier. Firstly, there are the whip upgrades that you can fight by breaking candles and defeating enemies. A fully upgraded whip helps a lot with the longer range. You lose the upgrades if you die, but usually they're inside the closest candle, so it's not really a huge deal. Another way to dish out the pain are the sub-weapons. They are a great help, but some can be more useful than the others. Firstly, we got the knife. It can help as a long-range attack, but it's so weak that you might as well use the whip. Then there's the axe, which is more helpful than the knife, but I still barely use it. Actually, I think I only use it to defeat the first boss. The boomerang is a better version of the knife, and the stopwatch can help with some enemies and works on bosses too. The only sub-weapon left is the holy water. I'ma be blunt here and say that the holy water is the best sub-weapon of them all. It stops the enemies in places, which allows you to deal a lot of damage, but it deals a lot of damage by itself. And if you find a triple shot, which allows you to throw 3 weapons at once, the bosses will know the meaning of pain. Seriously, it's hella overpowered. But the game doesn't pull any punches, so don't be too afraid to spam it wherever you have a chance.
Even with all of this, Castlevania is still a very challenging game. Well, there is one thing that makes everything better though. That one feeling. Satisfaction.
There's nothing more satisfying than beating a level that gave you a lot of shit. The feeling of learning how to overcome an obstacle, defeating a boss and grab that red orb overshadows all the anger I got from all the deaths. The graphics are great for NES. Simon and all the enemies are pretty well animated. I wasn't kidding when I said that the game is fitting for the theme of Halloween. All the colors are dark and settings are grim, like caves, dungeons and a clock tower. The enemies and bosses also help a lot with the darker tone. Vampire, fish people, bats, skeletons, mummies, all of them come straight out of classic horror movies. And the backgrounds aren't really that special, but sometimes they can surprise you. The music is simply amazing. All the tunes are upbeat and get you pumped for the adventure to defeat evil. The track that plays before facing Dracula makes it clear that it's going to be an epic encounter, and after you decapitate him, the song gets even better. I just love the soundtrack, and for the NES, I think it's phenomenal.
In the end, Castlevania is sure a hard game, but I don't think it's a bad kind of hard. I think it's a kind of hard that gets rewarded if you have enough patience. So this was my review of the first Castlevania. I hope you enjoyed and I'll see you next time.